Good morning, folks. Good morning from the boogie down South Bronx. This is Jeffrey Cortez again. I'll be reading another chapter. That will be chapter 9 from my book, Memoirs of Pastor Rajatabla, Pentecostal Private Eye. The book is available in paperback version as well as Kindle version on Amazon.com. Also, you could purchase the book for pickup at a Barnes and Nobles near you. You're simply going to have to just order it online and choose the location nearest you for the pickup. All right. So the intentions of the writing of the book you'll find in the description posted below here, as well as I'm going to give you just a brief understanding of the format. Rajatabla, which is a nickname, or Raja, which is the nickname of the main character in this novel, is a pastor of a Spanish Pentecostal storefront church in an urban area. And he is approached by concerned members of his community, neighborhood, and also church communities nearby regarding mysteries, activities, things that are of concern, whether they're actually as presented or perceived, or are they based in gossip. And Raja, having clinical and observational skills, goes and does the investigation, no charge. And then when he gets home, he writes his findings in his journal, which he has nicknamed Tabla. So there's the inside joke, Raja Tabla. All right. So chapter 9 is the title of chapter 9 here is The Fela and Franco Mess. That's the Fela and Franco Mess. And the introductory scripture verse from Hebrews chapter 12, verse 15 is, "See to it that no one falls short of the grace of God, and that no bitter root grows up to cause trouble and defile many." Okay, so let's see what this chapter is about. It's a very short chapter. Two well-liked and highly regarded elders were dear Sister Fela and dear Brother Franco. Fela was known for her passion of learning and reciting beautiful poetry and long passages of scriptures. She had the gift of hospitality, welcoming many of the youth who were friends of her children to come to her home, where she would cook delicious and abundant meals for them. Franco was very popular with the children, loaning them simple handheld musical instruments in church for them to use during worship services. He also carried pockets full of wrapped candy to give to the kids after church services. Now, for a few weeks, Fela seemed very bothered by Franco's presence. It was rumored that the sister may have learned of something sinister regarding Franco and his attraction to children. Their pastor, Reverend Paco, was very concerned about this situation and had asked Raja for assistance. Now, there was an all-night prayer watch service happening at Fela's and Franco's church one Friday evening, and Raja was invited as special guest. It was customary for church members to ask for or were delegated to take a part during a prayer break during these long prayer gatherings. This meant that the members would have to have access to the front of the sanctuary and either speak to the congregation, sing, testify, preach, or even confess a transgression. This often happened during breaks and all night through the next morning prayer services. That late Vigilia evening, Raha pulled Sister Fela and Brother Franco aside before they took any part in speaking from the front of the sanctuary. Their hearts had to be right, transparent, and free from any foul thoughts before attempting any spiritual, edifying communication from the front of the sanctuary. Dear Tabla. Today, Reverend Paco asked me to attend their evening vigilia, that's all night Virgil, so I could observe Fela and Franco closely. There seemed to be a lot of tension between these two elders. I took Franco aside and inquired what was the source of tension between them two. He told me he did not know where the hostility toward him from Sister Fela was coming from. Franco verbalized feeling very sad and apprehensive whenever she was nearby. A moment later, I spoke with Sister Fela in private, to which she admitted having anger toward the brother, but did not feel comfortable disclosing it to me. I then asked her if I could pray over her, and she gave me permission to lay hands on her forehead. I prayed that the Lord would pour the freedom into her heart to open up to leadership regarding her anger or apprehension toward Brother Franco, that there would be no disharmony among the fellowship, as well as there being a safe place through Christ's presence whenever 2 or 3 are gathered in his name. Later, Sister Fela took a public speaking part during the Vigilia. She asked for prayer and confessed a deep resent toward fellow church member Franco. She told us that she had been faithfully keeping the church clean on a volunteer basis during the week at a great, exhausting sacrifice. But then she had been holding a grudge against Hermano Franco because whenever he uses the men's restroom, he doesn't flush and he leaves long, thick mojones. That's Spanish for feces or poop or caca. Well, I'm just grateful that we were able to clean up that mess of a discord. Bendición y bendiciones.